Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Zesty Thoughts with your host, Annábla. Welcome to episode 45. I hope that everyone has had a great week. My week has been something. That's all I'm going to start with for now. Last episode I filmed outside. It was an amazing episode. I was like on a high from that. I talked about heaven. We had some really cool discussions. I had some submissions from an Instagram question poll, and I included some people's answers in the last episode. So it was kind of cool to have a little interactive element to the pod last week. And I just had a great week overall last week. I did have a fun weekend. I got to spend some time with friends. And yeah, I had a great week. Although it did not end on the most positive note. My cat Chelsea has been having some questionable health issues. We actually took her to the vet today to see if we could get some blood work done. So we did. They took blood. We're just waiting for results. She was experiencing some vision loss. And I don't know, she's been kind of weird. She's been throwing up intermittently. She's 15, so she's kind of skinny and she's up there, but we took her in, obviously. So we'll see what the results say. So please pray or send, healthy vibes her way. I've just been really trying to get through the last few days because, it's still kind of a question mark right now. What the results may be. It could be like hypothyroid, it could be diabetes, could be cancer or, kidney disease or something that's a little bit more serious, unfortunately. We just won't know until we get the results. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up. I'm also trying to not assume the worst. So I'm in this weird in-between phase, but I could use all the love and support and good vibes my way because I've been through the ringer this week emotionally. Because of that, it's like Chelsea's like my baby. When we first got her and her sister passed away 2 years. So she's been an only cat for the last 2 years. But when we first got the two of them, we brought them home, and Chelsea was really, really afraid, and scared and hiding, which a lot of cats do when you first get them and they first, come to your home for the first time. They're in a new environment and they're young and they're away from their, mom or family. And it's obviously a scary experience. So that's normal. Nonetheless, when we brought her and her sister home, she went to hide in our bathroom. And in our bathroom, the cabinet underneath the sink is it was like an actual cabinet with doors that you could open, and there was storage underneath. And she went into the bathroom and I forget where she was hiding, somewhere in there. And I just sat down on the floor with my back up against the bathroom sink. And I just held her, I picked her up so she could feel warmth and comfort, and I held her and she crawled up on my shoulders and behind my neck. And she just stayed there for, I don't know. From my perspective, it felt like forever. It also probably felt like forever for her too, because she was really scared. But she really stayed there for a long time and found a lot of comfort in that. And I feel like ever since that first day when we brought her home, we were just imprinted. I was also very close with my other cat, but it was just a different kind of a connection. She was always very attached to me, and I've always been super attached to her. She's been a scaredy cat since the day we brought her home. So, I've always been there for her anytime she's afraid, and anytime I'm in need of emotional, support, or sometimes physical support. If I'm having cramps and stuff, she literally will lay on my lower back or on my stomach and help me feel better. So we've always been there for her. She's like my sister. I call her Sissy, and we refer to me as her sissy and stuff. So it's like a sister I never had in cat form. And so the idea of her, being sick or anything just obviously, freaked me out and just really got to me. And it was just this acute dose of reality that she's getting older and I have to kind of prepare myself for that, which is crazy. I'm trying not to cry, so I'm just going to change the subject. But please send positive vibes and stuff my way and her way. Hopefully the results are good and we could just give her some medication and prolong her life. But we'll we will see. I will keep everybody updated. Okay, wow. Sorry to start the pod on like such a depressing note. I promise it's only up from here. Let me do a full 180 and talk about like a funny quote I substituted today at my work. Whenever I sub, I ask kids like how you're doing, you know, what's has your day been so far, and kind of like ask them about what kind of music they like and what they're working on, how long they've played and stuff, to get, you know, a feel for how they are as a student and to kind of get them more comfortable with me, especially if they've never had me as a sub before. And so I was asking this last student of the day, like, oh, how are you? How's your afternoon, you know, your day going so far? And he was like, oh, good, but can I tell you something funny? And I was like, yeah, sure. What's funny? And he goes, on the way here, and he was so serious. On the way here, my mom was driving, and this man, he was a terrible driver, and he tried to go when it wasn't his turn, and my mommy cussed. I was like, bruh, his mom had road rage, you know what I mean? It made me laugh. I was like, oh no. I didn't want to be like, been there too, but I've been there too. I get it. I feel your mom hard. Sometimes people do be going when they're not supposed to. Anyway, that was really funny. That made me laugh. That made me chuckle. He was also wearing, so cute. He was wearing like an Ohtani hat, like a Dodger player, for those of you that don't know. And he goes, oh, and by the way, I know I have an Ohtani hat on, but I'm not Japanese. I'm Korean. And I was like, okay, cool, dude. Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, cool. Thanks for the clarification, you know? But anyway, yeah, other than the tumultuous, you know, emotional roller coaster of the last few days, I did have a pretty good week. I had a fun weekend. Saturday, I had like a FaceTime date with my boyfriend, since we're long distance. And then I went to like a work bowling night, which was actually really fun. I always preface when I go bowling with people that I've never bowled with before, people that like don't know me well, I'm like, I'm really bad at bowling. Usually when I go bowling and I play with friends, I'm literally the lowest scorer at the end of each game. It's like just a thing that I've just, you know, accepted about myself. I do not have good bowling skills, but ironically enough, I guess all my coworkers are also bad at bowling, and I was so shocked, and I literally won the first game. I was like, how did that happen? I mean, I didn't break 100, but like, how on earth did I win? Because normally my score is like abysmal. It's usually depressing and like slightly embarrassing, how bad I am at bowling. But I did do pretty well. I feel like I had a good grasp on getting at least like 6 or 7 in the first. I think I only got 1 strike and I got like a handful of spares. But anyway, it was lots of fun. And I was so shocked and proud of myself that I won the first game. I like literally couldn't believe it. But anyway, it was fun. And then a few of us went to karaoke after. That was really fun. I'm always up for karaoke. And I kind of felt bad because like, obviously we're like music teachers, like not all of the people that went to karaoke were like singers. And like one of them was like, are you gonna like sing good? I was like, I don't have to. Like, I like don't want to be that person, especially if you're in like public karaoke. We went to a private room, so it's like a little different, but like if you're in public karaoke and you're like the one person that's good, it's kind of just cringe in my opinion. And I'm a singer. Like, I'd be good at karaoke, but like, I just hate being that person. I don't want to be that person because like everyone's going to karaoke to have fun, and like it's a judgment-free zone for people to be like as bad as humanly possible and still be like cheered on and like supported. And like to be that one good person is so, it's just so chuggy, so lame. It's just like not it at all. So I was like, well, you know, I'm like we're not like all singers. If we were like all singers, I'd be going in. Like, I have a karaoke night planned with like 2 of my best friends and we're singers. So like we're gonna be singing, you feel me? But like if it's not like singers, it's kind of like just have fun. So I threw in some like Pussycat Dolls, some Avril Lavigne, some light work, you feel me? And we had a lot of fun. We had some like plum wine and just like vibed. And it was so much fun. It was fun to hang out with coworkers because honestly, when we're at the studio and it's like children everywhere and parents everywhere, like you got to have a little front up. There's got to be a little filter going on, personality wise and all of that. So it's kind of nice to let loose and be able to be like, outside of that environment and like, mingle and chat with coworkers and stuff. So that was really, really fun. It was a good time. Sunday, then I had kind of like a girls' evening / night featuring M's man, Brian. So like kind of a girls' night. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. M works at a museum, so we got to go visit her while she was on the clock and check out the exhibits. And then we just hung out. We had dinner. M's mom literally made us an amazing like taco feast. Oh my gosh, delicious salmon and yummy, yummy ass food. Brian was a bartender, made some delicious drinks as always. And we just had a nice girls' night, some like little heart to hearts and like some fun vibes that we like really were missing. Recently, I have been reflecting on my gratitude for all of the relationships that I have with other women. And I don't know, I've been really present in how appreciative I am for my like female friendships in life. And I don't think I ever took them for granted, but I think I'm a little bit more like in excess of gratitude of them as of late, because I've found so much value being able to learn from the women around me and, look up to them and, just wear your heart on your sleeve and open your heart to like another human and such a beautiful way, and just to have like great support system. There's nothing that compares to a really, really deep connection with, amongst women. It's something that's super magical. But yeah, I also think as I grow and, my perspective on the type of relationships that I have with my friends, it grows more genuine and more, spiritual in a way. It's just giving me, a new appreciation for friendship in general. I think that, when you're young, you have a lot of friendships based on proximity because, you're in school or you're in extracurriculars or whatever, and you see people every day or, once a week, and there's just this automatic connection based on like a shared experience and proximity. And then you get to college and you meet new people, but it's still within that same environment of proximity. And then, you are done with school and, maybe you have work friends, but it's kind of a different environment, that like professional aspect. It has a different layer to it. My day job doesn't necessarily put me in a social environment with my coworkers. I'm not directly working with them. I'm just working, in my lesson room with one individual student. So I really interact with my students more than I ever do with technically my coworkers, the other teachers. So that's not really like a super forward part of my job compared to like other jobs that I've had in the past, like school in the past. That's not to say I'm not like friends with any of my coworkers. We just like don't see each other as much. So that like automatic kind of like camaraderie that you gain from like spending a lot of time with your coworkers is different. It's just like harder to access at my job. But long story short, I mean, you just grow older and then, you have less of that proximity factor going for you when it comes to friendships. And, unless you have like some type of like community that you're really ingrained in, regularly, it can be very easy for a lot of people. I could see how it can be very easy for a lot of people to kind of lose that factor. And then your friendship is only really held up by like your own choice to continue it. You know what I mean? It's just like a relationship. Like you choose to keep it going every single day. And it's the same thing with friendships. You know what I mean? That's a large part of it, is that like you have to juggle your schedule. Like, there's like the whole stereotype of like, oh, like, when can I see you? Oh, well, like I'm free like in like 3 months, like on this Saturday. You know what I mean? It's like there's like that stereotype as an adult where it's like really hard to schedule things and coordinate hangs and stuff like that. but you do it. And then it makes you kind of, I don't know, it makes you kind of like hold those moments more dear because you know that they're like less often. They're not as frequent as obviously you would want. Unless you like live super close by, but like at least in my experience, like a lot of my best friends, like none of my best friends live within like 30 minutes of me. The closest of my like close friends live within 30 minutes of me. So like I have to drive 30 minutes to see and spend time with any of them. Not that like gets in the way. I do it, but it's not just like they're like around, but it's not like they're around the corner or like 10 minutes down the road. I don't know. It's just interesting. Like I just have had this like epiphany almost where my appreciation for my friendships has just like grown exponentially, and it makes me feel really good. And like, I feel like loved, and I love my friends so much, and they like inspire me, and you know, they bring me so much joy, and I look up to them, and they're such amazing people. And we're all just, I don't know, we're just so lucky to have the connections that I have. So I guess all of this to say, don't take your friends for granted. This is not just for like women, obviously. Men, if you have like a close male friend, don't take them for granted. Don't be all nonchalant and weird just because you guys are like bros. Like, appreciate your friends, and don't be afraid to be like corny about it. I know that like guys are a little more nonchalant about that kind of thing, but like, don't be afraid to say it. Like, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being a good friend, all that kind of stuff, and communicate it with your friends, because you never know, dude. Life is crazy. Like, things could happen in an instant, and you have to really tell people you love them. You feel me? You really have to tell people you appreciate them and love them, and like value those connections, and, put time and energy into them to keep them, or you won't. You feel me? But yeah, anyway, I just love it. I love it. I love my friends so much. Literally so much. They're like my support system, and they're like all amazing people that I look up to. Anyway, enough like a rant about my friends. Okay, next order of business. I wanted to talk about a phenomena that I have discovered recently about myself that I think is going to unfortunately take me down a very expensive rabbit hole. I'm hoping not. I love, and I think I actually prefer the way that I look with glasses on. I'm not talking sunglasses, y'all. I'm talking glasses. I mean, the reading glasses that I have now specifically, I feel like I just eat down. They're like a cute little Prada moment, and I love them so much. I love the way that they frame. They're like a little like cat eye vibe. I'll put a picture here so you can see. I do have some cute like green frames that have like light green lenses and frames. And I eat those down. I love them so much. I'll put a photo of that right here. But what I mean by expensive rabbit hole is like, I realized that I want to like pursue collecting glasses with like just glass frames, because I do need glasses. Like, my brown glasses are for like reading. I do need those when I'm like on a device long term, or if I'm reading a lot, or if I'm like doing stuff up close. I do need that. Otherwise my eyes get really tired and then I get a headache. You feel me? So I do need those functionally actually to, see up close. But I want to just like get cute frames that are not prescription. You feel me? And I think that's going to be my new personality. I think I'm going to make that my new personality, like starting literally right now. I have some saved on Amazon that I really want to get, that I saw some people post on TikTok. But I also want to get some frames that are just like unique, and like, I don't know if you can like thrift frames like that. But I think I'm going to be like on a hunt this summer to like find some cute frames, because I really love the way I look in them. I feel like I just look like a little like sexy librarian. Like, I feel like I look so like smart and like demure. You feel me? And some people like hate glasses, and I've like never understood the hate. Like, literally ever. When I was little, I like wanted glasses. Like, you know how kids are weird and they like want braces? Like, I was like, I want glasses. And I just have them to read, but like I can't just like walk around with them. Like, my eyes would like, I melt. I don't know. They would like hurt, and like I wouldn't be able to see right. I can't walk around with them like just normal. Like, if I'm like in a session and I'm doing stuff on a computer, like in that context, and I need them, like I have to wear them. But like, I can't be like outside, like walking around like at night, or like in the club with them. You know what I mean? And I like kind of want to be in the club with some glasses on. So I'm definitely on the hunt, and I feel like a douchebag when I wear like shades indoors at night, but I kind of want to have that like little demure, like little like, you feel me? So if anybody has recommendations or literal links, like DM me links, babes. I want to start a collection of just like frames, and I want to like have one in every color, different shapes, different styles, that kind of thing. And invest in that as far as my wardrobe goes. I also feel like the frames are like such a part of the fit. But if I'm doing like an event indoors and stuff and I don't want to look like a douchebag, I want some cute frames to like round out my full fit. So anyway, if anyone has links, send them my way, because that's like my new like fashion goal. And just like my new goal in general. And like I said, I'm about to make it my personality, and you will see very soon. I might try to see if I can find a cute pair that don't have lenses in them. Also, so I can like wear some on the pod, and you will, girl, you're gonna clock it so fast. You're gonna see exactly what I mean. Anyway, so I feel myself when I'm wearing glasses. That's like basically all I'm trying to say. I don't know if anybody else has like something like that they're just like, yeah, this is like me. But I like want to make that me. So anyway, new personality unlocked. Okay, next topic of the episode. Oh my gosh, I watched Sleeping Beauty last week, and I think it's one of my favorite Disney princesses. Like, I'm having a hard time. I'm also trying to just like figure out, like, when I was little, Ariel was always my favorite because I was obsessed with Little Mermaid and Part of Your World. Oh my God. I mean, who wouldn't be? But I don't know. I love Sleeping Beauty. It is just such a classic. I love the music. I love the singing, the vocals. Oh my God, just like 10 out of 10. Like, oh my God. So good. I love that she's like an animal whisperer also, when she's like singing in the forest and all the animals are like, they're just like, hi, Aurora. You know, they're just vibing, straight catching a vibe in the forest with Aurora. And I'm trying to straight catch a vibe with the animals in the forest. So I admire that. I also love that she's so demure and just like doesn't even know she's a princess, but like she is. It's giving princess. And she's so demure about it. I literally love her so much. And I also like to sleep. So if that is not like reason enough for her to be my favorite Disney princess, I don't know what is. Like, I fully align with the sleeping. I do know it was like not consensual, but either way, she is a Sleeping Beauty. She is, you know, aligned with the sleeping. She was in her sleeping era for a minute. I'm trying to be in my sleeping era also. I'm actually trying to improve my sleep. That's like another layer of this. But yeah, so I identify with Aurora big time. I also love the lore of the dress, like the pink and the blue. I do think that her dress should just like permanently be blue, like as far as like marketing purposes go. I do like the pink, and I actually like pink. I also realized that about myself recently. I look very good in like a hot pink, just with my skin tone. I did actually look up ChatGPT. Now I'm on a full ADHD raid. I did actually look up ChatGPT and submit some like photos of myself to get like a color analysis. Although I don't know how accurate it was. They said you have to submit photos in natural light with like no makeup. And I realized I like don't have any photos of myself in that way. Like, I don't have any photos of myself like that. So I just submitted the best options, like that were like close to natural light or close to no makeup. But I don't know. So I don't know how like effective it is, but I might do that this week, like take natural light photos of myself without makeup on so that I can like get more like an accurate result. But yeah, I love the way that I look in like this color blue. I do feel like it looks so good with my skin tone. I love kind of like bright colors. So something is telling me I'm like a spring, summer kind of vibe. I am like cool undertone. I'm a silver girly, like through and through, like 100%. But I do appreciate a mixed metal moment. I do want to get like, I want to invest more in like jewelry of like mixed metals. I only have like one or two rings that are mixed metal. I do have a few necklaces that are gold, and a few like hoops and stuff that are gold. Yeah, I love a mixed metal moment, but I think I am like a silver girly for sure. long story short. But anyway, I don't know how I got there from this whole Aurora thing. I do think that her dress should just be like permanently blue. And maybe I'm a little bit biased because I love the color blue, especially the color blue for her dress. Also, there's the whole like debate of like, what about a green dress? Because like, what about Merryweather? Like Merryweather, isn't she the green fairy? Yeah. Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. Like, what if her dress was green? And I kind of like live for green because I love frogs. And I just like green has always just been like a color that I've like loved so much. I have a lot of like green clothing and like have those green glasses. So honestly, maybe that's why I identify with Aurora so much, because like of the fairies. Maybe I identify with the fairies more. But anyway, I watched Sleeping Beauty and it was so cute. I just love it so much. I love it. And I was literally in the vet today with Chelsea, and they had like TVs, and we're in the waiting room, and Chelsea, she literally hates being in her carrier so much. It's like the saddest thing ever. It's like the most traumatizing thing in the world for her, because as soon as we put her inside, she just like screams and cries, and you're like, oh my God, it's like the saddest thing ever. She was in her carrier in that waiting room, and they had 2 TVs, and they were like playing like movies and stuff. And when we were in there, they put on Sleeping Beauty, and I was like, no way. I literally just watched this. And so the overture started, and I was like singing, I know you, I walked with you once upon a day. I was like singing to Chelsea to like try to calm her down, because sometimes she like listens to me sing and just like chills in my room while I have a voice lesson. And like, I was like, I'm gonna sing to you, my love. I'm gonna sing to you. But anyway, so I love Sleeping Beauty so much. Can you tell that I'm just like running on the last bit of energy right now? I feel like so sleepy. I do have like one more segment that I do want to like talk about before I wrap up the pod, but I'm feeling a little eepy right now. So we have one more thing we're gonna wrap up. I was put on this week. My friend I feel like a month or so ago told me to listen to Hannah Cohen. I think it's Cohen or Cohen. Anyway, told me, she put me on like a month or so ago, and she was like, girl, like listen to this. I think I was like hanging with her, and one of Hannah's songs was playing. And she was like, girl, you need to listen to this. And then I think one of her other songs came up on like a playlist I was listening to on Apple Music. Either way, I went to her profile and like added 2 of her most recent albums, and I have a playlist that's called Listen to This Shit. So it's just like stuff that people recommend to me that I add, that I'm like don't want to forget about, but I don't want to like add, you know, like to like a random playlist. Like I'm not gonna like add it to like my favorited songs, or you know, on Spotify, like your liked songs. I don't use Spotify, but that's like what people would equate, you know. But I don't want to like add it, so I was just like, oh, I'll just add it to this playlist, and then I just go through that playlist. I try to go through like at least an album on that playlist today. I went through literally both of Hannah's albums. So I did want to come on here and talk about my favorite songs that I added off of those 2 albums and just sing her praises, because I'm literally obsessed. It's like my new obsession. So firstly, I listened to Welcome Home, which actually came out in 2019. So I'm late to the game on that, y'all. But I added This Is Your Life. Oh, I mean, what a good opening track. That song is amazing. So good. I added All I Wanted. Dissolving, so good. What's This All About? And Wasting My Time. Oh, Wasting My Time, what a heartbreaking song. I was just like, oh, this is so good. Then I listened to Earth Star Mountain, which is the newest release, I think 2025. So clearly, I added Dusty, Dragon, Mountain, Earth Star, Rag, and Summer Sweat. I love Summer Sweat. That song is so fun. But yeah, I love all of those tracks. Like I love, honestly, both of those albums just like as a whole are just amazing projects. I mean, God, what a talented songwriter. She is just so amazing. Like she has such a way with words. I love her melodies. She has a really good way of like weaving lyrics into a song. That is like literally the only word that comes to mind when I try to describe like the artistry with which she communicates in her songs. Her lyrics are just so honest, but so like polite with it. I know, they're so demure. I love it so much. I love those projects. I love her music so much. I'm a massive fan. So anyway, I'm like definitely late to the game, I guess. I love it. I love the kind of like Joni-esque kind of inspiration in some of the records and some of the melodies. Like, just can't get enough. So for those of you that are not on the Hannah Cohen train, like, you better hop on. You're missing out big time. If you want some nice folk kind of alternative indie songs to get in your feels and think about life and reflect and just a little introspection, a little, spiritual awakening, a little shift in the brain chemistry, then I suggest you dive right on in. Okay, everybody, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you for chilling with me. I always feel like I have such a different vibe when I record at night, and I'm just like vibing tonight. I'm like kind of low energy because I'm a little eepy. I woke up early, but thank you for vibing with me, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful week and a fun weekend, and stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.